Good morning, everybody. It's Monday, and you know who's joining us on our couch today. We have Jules with the extra marinated beef because we were not having this conversation last week.
Right,
How do you
right.
feel today, Jules? How was your weekend?
It was good, and I feel like I appreciated the week off. It's a lot of stress to do the beef.
Really?
Because it's the grill, the smoke gets in your eyes.
And I know how fiery and passionate you get sometimes. So
Exactly.
When they burn you and then they try to get all the juices out of the meat, it's just a lot to handle.
It's a lot to manage. It's a lot to
And
manage.
we got 4 topics. So you know when at 4?
The 4, we're going 4 to the floor. No beef, no more.
Oh, Lord. Let us get started, shall we? Because there's a lot to dive into.
The first beef I have to pick that with, oh no.
Magayari.
Y'all think this man's behavior is normative. You all were on this same show last week when I wasn't here to talk about, oh, no need for chill out for that. Y'all, we don't need. That is a considered editorial decision. Why is that? Believe me, it pains me, grieves me to have to expurgate and show the personal domestic disturbances of anyone's life. Everyone involved in this has children. And to put them on blast like that is not something we do lightly.
Right.
But I am saying this is not normative behavior for a public figure anywhere in the world, except probably Putin's Russia. If they got Mr. Putin, they do this to somebody. It goes on the television. That is how it works. If we had any other politician in Belize who has not been exposed in this same light before, we would show it. If we had, I don't even want to suggest any names because I don't want to put anyone else in that light, but any public figure we had.
Yeah.
But because it was Mr. Faber, I suppose, and his proclivities for this type of behavior is already known. Everybody are like, all right, we don't know, just ease the man. I wish we could ease him. It pains me. I knew that this thing was circulating. And I said, I hope it does not reach us. I hope it is never seen. I don't have to make the decision.
Yeah.
But once it lands on your phone, once you receive the video, you are duty bound to deal with this because the behavior is not acceptable for someone who seeks any elected office. And I know this man seeks the highest elected office. He has maintained at all times, through all his ups and downs, I'll be back. Because Patrick Faber believes he has an appointment with history. He believes that. That is one of his core personal beliefs. So I understand the blowback of negativity when we posted the video on the weekend. It was tremendous. I don't read any comments, but I know from my little birds. I know the blowback was tremendous, and that is what we have to live with. I wish we did not have to use the nasty ad, and that ad was vile and nasty that they made because it put a child and a woman in it, a victim, and it used them. That ad was one of the most grotesque things I have ever seen. Grotesque. And whoever's mind is behind that ad. And it is the opponents of Mr. Faber to show you how equally vile they are. That is one of the most repulsive advertisements I've ever seen. I don't know if you saw the long one. There was a 90-second one.
Yes, I saw the one where
Yes, and her face screams and man left that so.
Yeah.
Left that so. So I am saying, I understand these are very difficult decisions you have to make in this business.
Yeah.
And I would wish we didn't, but we had to. But it brings me, and I would wish to move on from that particular part of it to the other part of it. Is Patrick Faber still tenable as a political candidate? Is he tenable? This is a critical question because there's a move in the UDP to trigger a recall of Shine Barrow. They're going around the country now. They're canvassing. Great. They have a mechanism for that. But if you recall Shine Barrow, who you going to call? You ain't going to call the Ghostbusters. You can't call. Who you going to call? You can't call Patrick Faber.
No.
He's untenable. And the people who are pushing it, that was their plan, to call Patrick Faber. Patrick Faber is politically untenable.
Facts.
Okay, I mean, all this drama between, no, there's another participant on it, Miss Nikisha Polanco, who put her name out there, and she came forward for an interview.
That is true.
These are not things you want to deal with, but he responded to her post in a sinister manner.
Yeah.
Yo, chill, just left that. But he ain't got no chill because nobody has told this man to stop. And that's why he walked off uncut. And I don't have anything personal against Mr. Faber. It's never about that. But he crosses lines. And on that show, he was trying to cross a line to shift blame to someone that he says has mental illness.
Yeah.
He was trying to shift blame onto his partner's mental illness.
Yeah.
It's complicated, and I wish we never had to be a part of it. But he's a public figure, and we are a part of it. But my point is, what will happen next in the UDP? First, Patrick Faber will not run for the UDP. That is my prediction.
Okay.
As I think I've said it here before. But he's going to run independent. He will not be stopped. This, between him and Shine Barrow, is between ego. And they both suffer. I have diagnosed Shine publicly already. Mr. Faber has the same thing, narcissistic personality disorder. And it's a worrying thing to see two people in a conflict, and really it's a conflict about ego. Patrick Faber will not be in a UDP on a Shine Barrow, and Shine Barrow will not be in a UDP on a Patrick Faber. When Patrick made it, Shine was undermining him. I know that Shine is there, Patrick is undermining him. But we're at this point now. So I predict that Patrick Faber will end up running independent. And I cling to my prediction, or the political logic I subscribe to. He ain't gonna win.
No, they more as just separate the UDP votes, and then the PUP is going to be.
But who will run for the PUP? We can't give it to the PUP yet because they don't even got one candidate at this time. Some people are saying it's there is just political rumor mongering that it's going to be Chester. Well, if that Chester, you know where I stand. I don't tell the man I campaign manager jokes. Okay. but I'm just saying. So that's one aspect. Now, if they do a recall, or if they try to trigger a recall, will Tracy now take up the mantle of the recall? That is a tricky situation because Tracy Tager Panton's, the fact that she came so close to Faber, to Shine Barrow in the convention, she's a formidable candidate. Never take your eye off of that. But she had the support of Patrick Faber's camp.
Yeah.
Patrick Faber may support her again, but last time, he never even come to Belize to vote. If he had come to Belize, she would be leader today. But he can't stand her either because he wants to be leader.
Right, it's either him or nobody at all.
What's that?
I'm saying it's either him or nobody at all.
Exactly, that's what he wants. So I'm saying that if he had simply returned to Belize to vote, he would have been one more vote, and I sure just his presence there.
They would have shaken.
Because this is a man, this is a child of the UDP. It's a child of the UDP. I'm just saying that, it'll be a acute situation. Tracy can only do it with Patrick Faber's support. But she can't continue to hold the line that she's been holding. And the line that she's been holding is, well, me and Mr. Faber are good. If he does it again, she had said that before. If he does it again, well, he did it again. This happened in May of 2022. I have seen the date stamp on the file because there's a perverse narrative going around that this happened a long time ago, which is all is forgiven because, all sins were forgiven in 2020. That you're good. This happened in May of 2022, this headbutt incident.
Okay.
So Tracy Tager Panton, if she wants to be the one called, and that's not unforeseeable, but she cannot do it without Patrick Faber's support, implicit or explicit. And she has to at this point, because she's always played it very cagey with the Faber support. Well, I don't support that sort of thing. And be specific. Do you support Mr. Faber? Because going forward, you have to draw a line in the sand.
Yeah.
And it's a cute situation.
Yeah.
If she wants to be leader, she cannot explicitly renounce Patrick Faber.
Yeah.
If she explicitly renounces him, if she's with the recall, she will not be the one who is called.
Yeah.
So the question in the UDP is, who are you going to call?
It's a very tricky situation given, she can be very key when it comes to the leadership position. A lot of women are looking forward to she being in leadership. But now when we talk about the issue of domestic violence, where she said, she does not condone but the person that is the perpetrator of domestic violence, and you're saying, like, she's not explicit about it. So where does she lie in all of this? So it really begs you the question, what is she going to do next here when it comes to fighting this leadership position?
She has to be explicit. And if we have to see what's going to happen with the recall. But the whole recall, in my mind, is fizzling because they cannot, in my mind, cannot call Faber. UDP is a bunch of crazy people, so you never know who they're going to call, right? Like, it wouldn't surprise me if they say, yeah, but we still need Patrick. Because that's how Patrick Faber feels. He feels like he has a cloak of immunity because he's such a successful and popular politician. He's a successful and popular politician. We cannot deny that. He knows how to win elections. And that makes him, I believe, feel that he has some level of immunity and thus operates with impunity. Now go work. Yep. It's a really complicated situation, but again, all these people have kids, and to see children in the middle of this and on the periphery of this, it's really regrettable, and I would wish it could all go away. Yeah. But other countries...
It's a hard conversation to have, right?
No,
but it's a must-have given the fact that, as you're rightly saying, he's a leader, so he's in public eye, and if we would dismiss the fact that a leader can do this, then what example are we setting for everybody that we're trying to fight against domestic violence?
You're normalizing this non-normative behavior. And I want to say that in any civil democracy, Mr. Faber, as a member of parliament, would be required to resign.
Yep.
There are multiple instances on camera now, 3 that I have seen. One was in 2014, in Gateway. That never came to the public's eye. And I always count that as a mistake on the behalf of the media, myself included. But why? You give a blight that the deputy PM, or I don't think it was deputy PM at the time, but a senior minister, etc., etc. But there was a video in 2014 of him and Ms. Polanco, right, of an incident. Then you have the home situation with him and Ms. Polanco again in 2020.
I remember that.
When he rushed the door. And now you have this May 2022. You're out. 3 strikes, you're out in most countries. You would be required to resign from parliament. This is conduct unbecoming a member of the House.
Yeah.
This is conduct unbecoming. Anyway, but we have to see what the UDP will do. But whatever they do, it will be consistent with dysfunction.
I don't know.
Because, they're in a state. Anyway, but from the opposition to the government, no cabinet meeting for a month. No cabinet meeting for a month. I don't understand. Mr. Briceño, they have in rap, you all wouldn't be old enough to know this, but there was a rapper very famous named Sir Mix-a-Lot. He Sir flies a lot. Okay. He be flying. So we have a cabinet brief. The last one we saw was 15 September 2022. We don't have a cabinet meeting in this country for a month.
For a month.
Until Wednesday, 13th October. Can you show the one for Wednesday, 13th October? 13th October, 2022. Well, the cabinet meetings are held on Tuesday. But I'm saying and the release comes out, 2 days later. But I'm saying that we don't have cabinet for a month because Mr. Briceño is traveling. I understand he had to go to UN, he went to OS, I understand he had some personal business as well. But for a month, we can have a cabinet meeting. Okay, so it's like, I'm traveling for a week. No news for this week. the show must go on. You have a deputy prime minister. How can we, what sort of country is it that you could just say, we don't have a cabinet meeting for a month? I am saying, when Dean Barrow had to have his back surgery and he left for a month, Mr. Farber led the cabinet meetings as deputy prime minister. It wasn't a great success, as I'm told, because many ministers boycotted because of the frictions in the UDP at that time, which still persist. But I'm saying that you have to have a cabinet. It's a function of the executive. It's the basic function. So then for a month, the country just runs on autopilot. Like,
with the pause. Just
with the pause.
Break.
I know it's the domain of you younger persons, but is Belize a real place? Is Belize a real place that we could go 1 month without a cabinet meeting? I need to have an music. Round robin, Zoom, we good.
You know,
just text me. Just text me.
Maybe you just really want to be present, like, you know, I don't know. Maybe you just really want Dede. I want Dede.
No, everybody wants to be there. No one more than the Minister of Health. The Minister of Health is traveling again. And I have a problem with this. I understand according to the Cabinet Secretary, what he told me, there's a travel ban. And you can only travel if the host pays for your visit or someone pays for your travel. Okay. I guess they have it worked out and someone is paying for their travel, which is not to say that there's no cost to government, because subsistence alone, you know, all these things are up. But I'm saying, how can our Minister of Health be traveling? We have a critical medicine shortage. There's a critical he promised the meds would be here by the end of September. We were already acutely short, and they're still not here. This is maladministration. This is maladministration of the tendering and contract process. The medicines are still not here. Let me show you an example. There's a medicine called mannitol. I think we have a picture of it.
Yeah.
Mannitol. So that medicine is to reduce brain inflammation.
Oh.
We had a gunshot victim in the hospital who died yesterday, PCR Zoo, who very tragically died. He had a traumatic brain injury. We have another one. Some people were shot very early this morning in Boom. These people have traumatic brain injuries. I'm not saying they need this, but this is a type of medicine used for persons with traumatic brain injuries. Yeah. We do not have this. The KHMH can't buy it because it's not something that is widely available. The Ministry of Health has to bring it in. There are many licenses required. It's a very high-grade intensive care unit type of medication. They do not have it. My brother, the minister is in Cuba, the Salud ministerial health meeting. Okay. I understand. Cuba, somos hermanos. I understand. But tell them you're going by Zoom. I'm saying that you cannot leave when we have critics. You have he and the CEO are gone. Every hand on deck has to be here to figure out how do we solve the medicine shortage. I think we have a picture of the Salud meeting control room. We have the brochure, but I'm saying that I understand this is an important meeting, but my point is we have critical shortages. This has to be the kind of thing that keeps you up. You promised it by the end of September, and it was already late. We gave one blind. You have to come through. It's a crisis. Yeah. At what point do you say emergency measures have to be done? Somebody have to fly to Europe and bring this thing back in a suitcase. Lives are at stake.
Exactly, that's
it's
the
a
thing.
priority that's not there.
Well, it's not a priority then.
Exactly.
If the priority is not there, it's not the priority. What is the priority?
Exactly.
What is the priority?
Yeah, because I mean, you're the governing health body.
We have a director of health service who went to Armenia for a meeting.
Somebody in the chat said, what about the Zoom, man? I can't use that Zoom link.
No, nobody goes anywhere virtual again. No. We go in there. We go and get a subsistence. Right. We can get a UN level subsistence too. Yeah. When you get UN subsistence, about 200 US a day. We can get a UN subsistence too. Y'all just chill. See, that's the meeting the minister is at. The convention, if you could bring that slide back, the Convention International Cuba Salud 2022. I don't doubt that that's an important meeting. Cuba and us have very good relations. After that, then going to Taiwan. or sometime soon. But my point is, tenemos un crisis aquí.
Yes.
We have a crisis here at home.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to say, listen, we have to problem solve. Me and the CEO are going to stay and solve this problem.
Yeah. I mean, because at the end of the day, you're toying with people's lives, Jules. You know,
Right.
like especially for persons that say they're living with HIV. We know that there's ARVs that would go short as well. I mean,
Antiretrovirals. for those
Yes,
who don't know.
antiretrovirals. There's persons sometimes that there's not Tylenol. You know, people might
Gauze,
get
they
Tylenol,
rush
but it's a
the
simple
gauze up.
fact that you're telling them, I am the Ministry of Health. I'm gonna be the ones giving you your medication. You cannot get it elsewhere because, for instance, you cannot buy antiretrovirals in any other place other than
course.
the Ministry of Health, and you run out of it. So it's like, what are you telling people, right? Where's the priority and saying, I'm gonna do this for you, but you're not. And at the end of the day, like, where is the trust also within the health system? If you're saying, if I cannot give you your medication, then who am I supposed to trust? Who will look after me? It's really like the credibility with the system is getting heavily affected by not having medication.
By shortages, yeah. You can't get acetaminophen.
What happened?
I mean,
What substitute you go find for that? Please tell me.
I'm just saying it's like these are core functions, but yeah, so you corroborate my point. But you know, your interpretation is probably right. There's no priority. It's like, I mean, that like the way we do. But you know, it brings me to the other subject, which is government's endless appeals and litigation. I understand. This was the failing of the Barrow administration. Endless litigation. This is what happens when you're led by a lawyer. They want to litigate everything. And he and Mr. Barrow, the former prime minister, was locked in with the most litigious citizen our country has ever known, the Grand Pirate of Belize, Michael A. Ashcroft. And that cost taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars in awards and tens of millions of dollars in lawyer fees. This government is on a track to do the same. No, I mean, say we get led by a businessman. So a litigious solution will not be solved to everything. In business, you manage risk, right? You say, all right, what's my litigation risk? And how much do I have to spend on lawyers, etc., etc. Better we settle this. But no. They don't have to do that because that's your money to pay.
Right. And then he called the failure. What was it? Some technical issue that was going on with some litigation that they had.
Yeah, it's always a technicality. There's always some out, but I'm saying that we have to manage risk. For example, the BTB award to Ms. Bevans and the lawyer fees could have been less. They have to pay Mr. Barrow costs too, which are not cheap. But it could have been less if you just say, make we settle.
That's true.
Because you, Mr. Mala, when it was your turn to get fired from the BTB by the vicious and vindictive UDP, they paid you off without going to court because they realized they may lose.
Yeah.
But no, we're going to court. All right, going to lose. No, they want to appeal. It's going to cost more, but why? You think if I'm a damn business and appeal? If it was your business, you would say, all right, we have cut with losses. Make we settle, make we try to get out of this now.
Yeah.
Make we work out our payment plan. We pay you $50 a week for the rest of your life. My point is, they don't care because it's your money, and this was a critical central failing of the Barrow administration. This was a central failure. Lessons are not learned. Why? Because it doesn't cost you. They just lost another big appeal. Fortunately, the state did not lose that one. That was the one against Seamus Bevans, against RSV and John Briceño personally. And they lost that appeal. I am saying that BTB has indicated that it plans to appeal. There, at a certain point, you have to start thinking about the money you have available as minister or whoever you are. It's not your money, it's people's money, and you have to manage it prudentially. You cannot constantly be putting money at risk because of your ego.
Yeah.
That's what they're driven by, ego. We're not gonna lose that. I ain't sure.
I think about the money that we saved with the Blue Bond. All of that just to go back to pay people back our appeal.
No make we start on the Blue Bond, but yes.
No, I did say, okay, we had a good run. We saved some money.
250 million US.
And then now,
Yeah.
what happened?
you know, it's
And I just want to make you know, Jules, people may listen in about
we never had that money for pay anyway. So you can't save money I never had, but go ahead. People are listening
people
and
are
saying,
talking. They're asking about. My auntie just said, please don't forget that we don't have a scan screening machine at the KHMH. So like talking about the priorities. Did we get one yet?
Is it a CAT scan?
The CAT scan, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we still don't have
We still
one.
don't have it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'd have to confirm. We'll check it and put it on the news, but I'm pretty sure we don't have. I mean, it's just like, I'm saying literally, our health system is in the 80s, you know. 80s. It's in the 80s. We are in 2020, and our system is in the 80s, and this is chronic, systematic PUDP neglect. They don't care. These people are clowns. They have a house meeting today. They're a bunch of clowns. I wish I could go there and laugh, but their jokes are so bad they make me want to cry. All 31. And I've been in that house for 30 years. I've been in there longer than a lot of them. I can't attend anymore. It's like, it's so sad. It's tragic. It's not even entertaining anymore. It's really, they are pathetic. Our political class, politicians in Belize, red and blue, are a bunch of clowns. Don't let them fool you. Don't vote. Tell them we will not support this. Ono give we some transparency. Show we your account. Campaign with it. Campaign with your account. Come bring me your bank account. You want to run for this? Put one security camera in your Prime Minister's office that all of we could watch all day. Make you sit and drink a Coca-Cola. That's what I support. I support absolute open the smart stream. Make we see every transaction. Make we question everyone. I don't want to be ridiculous, but I'm saying transparency is required. That's why I can't support these guys. They move in silence and violence. PUDP. This is how we got here. This is how we got here. The country is ill.
Yeah.
And these guys are the problem, the politicians.
People say get rid of both of the parties, you know, the chat.
Get rid of both of the parties. Chase them, bump it out of town.
Fresh blood in.
Yes, but we can't just get new fresh blood. We have to have systems. The problem is the systems that enable and empower these guys, that enable them to operate in secrecy. Every time you travel, I want to see your agenda.
Yeah.
Show me every month your agenda. Where you going? Where you going there? Make we question it. You might not like it, but that's how a democracy has to work. It's not your business.
So we to pay you? This is your job for we?
Anyway, yeah.
You okay, Jules?
I'm okay.
Sure?
I think I kind of burned the beef. I apologize. I apologize. I think I kind of burned it.
Jules is just inspired for the
He
rest of the
definitely
day.
got.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. When I see the whole pointing and everything, then I know.
The pointing, once you see the finger.
Then I know you're very, very real.
Good. I could take 2 weeks off, boss.
No, you're not allowed. I'll come back again next week.
That's the pain.
But thank you so much, you know, for bringing these things to our attention as well for the viewers that were giving.
We're just having some fun, man. You know, I mean, you have to understand the status quo persists, and it's our job to make noise about it. That's what we have to do, right?
But there's certain things like I could understand. I know people are saying in there like, where's the trust in making the deputy prime minister that's supposed to be at that place to lead cabinet? Like little things like you just start like, why is it not adding up? 2 + 2 not to get you 4 at this present moment. So what are we doing? Where's our priorities when it comes to health? What we're supposed to worry about instead of the catch flights. And I know the meetings are important, but can't we send somebody else? Like these are what the viewers are saying, and these are valid points. Like where are resources really going to appeal stuff? Like so much things to think about, and it's good to have us talk about it because people sometimes it just get brushed under the rug. You're not really to think about it until we bring it up here. So
transparency,
accountability.
Put on a security camera. You know,
you want to see Drina coach, Joe?
Yeah, I do. I do.
But we must cut and go to our first commercial break. We have a sunrise courtesy of Miss Elena. This is such a gorgeous one. Look at that. Yeah. Wow. You have to rate that at 10 out of 10, don't you, Jules? You're one and not touch this one yet.
Guilty as charged.
Guilty as charged.
I not argue.
Not argue. No, you don't argue already. Enough argument for the mornings. So with that, guys, we're going to go to our first commercial break. When we're back, we're going to be having a great conversation with the Belize Coastal Management Institute about what's happening with trivia and how you can get involved. Stay tuned.